Hey there, diet disruptors. We got a big one today. We got a big show, episode, whatever you want to call it. I actually recently recorded an episode about this topic on our TV show, Food Freedom. If you haven't watched our TV show, you got to check it out. We have to get it up on our website. It's on Brinks.tv, BRINX. It's a streaming platform. It is the number one most watched nutrition show in the world. We get about 2 million viewers a day. If you are ever in the airport, look up. We are streaming in all the airport TVs like 5 or 6 times a day. So check it out. I co-host it with celebrity nutritionist Mark McDonald. And we really do try to dig into all the different layers of nutrition, especially around balancing your blood sugar and debunking all the myths that people get confused on out there. It's similar to what I do in the podcast, but in the podcast, it's just like in the show, it's like very quick. I have like a few minutes and then we got to move to commercial break, right? And on my podcast, I can just talk. So we did an episode on this and it got me all like Mark had to talk me off the ledge. We're going to talk about weight loss drugs. We are going to dig into all of that big rage that's going on right now. I'm going to talk you through what they are, why people are doing them, my opinion. I'm going to share my opinion on this, and what we need to be thinking about for the long term when it comes to this stuff. So if you are watching us, then I'd love for you, and you're watching me live, then I'd love for you to comment as you're listening and just sort of give me a sense of what you're thinking on this. And if you aren't watching live, if you're watching on a replay, or if you're just listening and wherever you get your podcasts, feel free to comment afterwards. If you are listening wherever you get your podcast, I'd love for you to leave a review on what you think about our podcast and how valuable it is or isn't. No, hopefully. I feel like my team and I work hard to be able to give you different value and different topics to be able to start thinking about your health and your weight loss goals in a different way. We stream live in Diet Disruptor Squad. If you're here with me from there, say hello. Also in our Facebook page and YouTube. We post the excerpts of this on our Instagram channel at Disruptive Nutrition. You can go follow me. And I do all sorts of things on the Instagram at Carrie_Lupoli. Okay, so weight loss drugs. So it's like when I thought about this topic, it was like, where do I even start? Because there's so much to unpack here. And I'm going to start with really talking about the concept of I get it. I get why these weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy and all of that are so attractive at the surface. Because our society, as we have grown up as little girls into women, what we look like, how much we weigh, contributes to how we feel about ourselves, our confidence, our value, our success. Like, we know that. Even without social media. We didn't need the Instagram, the Facebook, the TikTok to tell us that. In fact, I actually appreciate now that girls today have social media in a way. Trust me, I have teenagers. I get it. But there's a dissenting voice. I get to have a voice in the realm of that media. Other people that are trying to discredit the notion that our value as women lies in the scale can live somewhere that girls can hear. When we were girls, we didn't have that. Commercials like Special K, Pinch an Inch, right? Magazines, posters, everything was one-way communication. We couldn't respond. We couldn't create our own content. It just had to be what they told us. And I think that's part of the problem of why we're where we are now, because, where we are now is all to do with our history. It's like that with our government, with race, with equity. it all has to do with history. That's why history is so important. So we have to take a step back and look at how we got here today because of that one-way communication, of believing people at their word about what we needed to do. It's so pervasive that it seeps into who we get our medical advice from. Doctors, make no mistake about it, doctors are not given the training to understand how to help you really truly prevent weight gain. They aren't. Our number one client at Disruptive Nutrition is doctors. I know this. I work very closely with doctors all around the country, and I know where the training is. It's around keeping patients alive versus focusing on a quality of life. It's around pharmaceutical because that is where the money is. So a doctor that has 10 minutes with you is not able to really give you the ins and outs of what to do preventatively because, well, A, they don't know. They're not trained in that way. But it's much faster to grab that script, write it, and send you on your way. And I'm not saying that all doctors are doing that, but that is how they are trained. They have to work really hard to go against that mold. They're not paid to give you nutritional advice, really, truly. The insurance companies will not pay for you to do preventative. They're not going to pay for your gym membership. They don't pay for a nutritionist necessarily. There are some insurance policies that will do some sort of support, but you have to be a very specific type of person that I guarantee you is not focused on the things that needed to be focused on. They're not paying for any of the, like your strength training. They're not paying for the things that, will keep you from having a disease. But if you fall and break your hip, then they'll pay for physical therapy, right? They're not going to pay for you to be able to learn how to keep your body in a place of homeostasis, blood sugar stabilization, all of that, until you actually get diabetes. They won't even pay for medication at pre-diabetes. It's diabetes, but by then it's too late. And what's so crazy is when I think about cancer, when I think about, gosh, if anybody that's had cancer has lost a loved one to cancer, and if I had said to you, I guarantee you a way that you could prevent getting cancer, it would be, that's what we're looking for, right? We are much less effective at curing cancer once somebody gets it. But we don't look at metabolic disease in the same way, even though diabetes it's not as fast of it. Like when we hear cancer, it's like, right? Like it's scary because we know the death rate of cancer can be high depending on what you have, the survivor rate. But diabetes is so close to that same type of prognosis. It's a math equation. You're only going in one way. Now, it may take a while because we have medication that can tame it. It doesn't reverse it. It's inevitable. Unless you actually do something different, you are going down a path that has the same ending as cancer. And in some ways, it is, to me, it's not that different because once you have diabetes, you have a very high chance of having dementia, Alzheimer's, every other metabolic disease. And sometimes it's high cholesterol, high blood pressure first. And sometimes it's diabetes first, and then the other things. And my husband's cousin, his leg had to be amputated and then he died. And we know that when we were in the COVID pandemic, who the people were that were dying. It's like, are we trying to just stay alive or are we trying to live? Because we know how to keep people alive. And that's what your doctors are trained for. How do I keep you alive? But we're not talking about a certain quality of life. Okay. I need to say that because if you think about the concepts of medicine, we can think about back in early 1900s, right? 1800, like call that medicine 1.0. Like that was like the initial stages of figuring out how we can help people get better and not die, like with infectious diseases or any sort of like virus. And then medicine 2.0 is kind of where we're living now, right? And medicine 2.0 is keeping people alive. We are really good at acute care. We are really good at accidents, like bringing people back and emergencies. We are not very good at handling these metabolic diseases. And the reason why I'm talking about this with weight loss drugs is because weight gain is a symptom of health and hormones. Weight gain is your body telling you something. It is not just simply a vanity metric. It means something so much bigger. But your doctors are not trained because they're in medicine 2.0. 2.0 is basically run by the pharmaceutical companies. And so we are looking for quick fixes. 2.0 is take a pill, take a medicine, and then be on your way. Because the goal is not quality of life, it's simply being alive, not dying. There is a wide range between not dying and actually living. And medicine 2.0 is focused on not dying at the moment. But by the time we have a diabetes diagnosis, we are aging faster, dying faster, and living a much poorer quality of life. If you are taking care of your parents right now, you know what I'm talking about. But how you actually deal with it is it when you get diabetes, that's almost too late. And certainly the way that we actually address it is what Dr. Mark Hyman calls name, tame, and blame. So we just name, blame, and tame, name, blame. We name what it is. We blame, yeah, your lifestyle brought you here. Like, that's what diabetes is, you guys, it's lifestyle. That's the thing with cancer. It shows, it's almost like no boundaries, right? It can be anyone. Diabetes, we know exactly what got you there. It is lifestyle. I do not care if you had a genetic, if your mother had diabetes. It's your lifestyle that brought you there. And so that instead of actually, reversing and reverse engineering how to get back, we could actually not just maintain our level of health that we have in our 40s, or 30s or 40s, but we'd actually could exceed it. But we don't. Our lifestyle is what brought us here. And then we think that there is a drug or a pill or a medicine that is going to fix it. It will never fix it. It will just slow down death while reducing the quality of life. Medicine 3.0, which is what I am hoping we'll get to at some point, Medicine 3.0 is not going to be as popular because Medicine 3.0 actually requires you to do stuff. It's going to require your doctor to do stuff that they don't necessarily in our current medical 2.0 system get paid for and be educated in a way that they've never been educated for. So, and you can talk to Dr. Anna Toker. You can go and follow her on Instagram. She's somebody that's been on my podcast. I'm very good friends with her. She is one of the only doctors that I know that will just tell it the way it is. And she said, I'm absolutely paid by the pharmaceutical company. If I don't write a prescription, I will not get paid, is basically what she knows. So let's talk about these weight loss drugs. Knowing that we are in medicine 2.0, knowing that we are about not dying. This medication was for diabetics. Okay. Now, again, we're not actually teaching lifestyle changes. We know that diabetics should, but you want to know what the dirty secret is? Your doctor doesn't think you're going to do it. There's something you're going to do it. You got yourself into this situation because of lifestyle, and they don't think you're going to change your lifestyle. I don't believe that. I know. Because of all of the people that I've worked with over the years, we have literally transformed behaviors. As a behavior specialist, that's sort of what it takes. The food thing is the easy part. It's actually teaching you how to change the behaviors that have become so automatic, as well as our thinking, right? If you believe you don't have time, if you believe that, eating healthy sucks, if you believe that you should be able to eat all that you want whenever you want it, if you believe that you are sugarholic, then you'll never be anything other than things. So we got to work on training that. That's medicine 3.0. But it's harder. But it's what we need. Think about in our 60s and 70s, we didn't have this happening. So why do we have it now? Well, our processed food industry is killing us. It's cheaper to buy ultra processed food, but it's chemicals in our body, and our body is not meant to be a chemical set. When we were cooking at home more, we didn't have these issues as much. We are all about grab on the go. So we need to be able to figure out, how do we live a busy life and be able to do grab and go and not get diabetes, not kill ourselves, not age faster, not reduce our quality of life. But here we go around weight loss. So many of us have been fighting this weight loss thing. And because what we learned in our history was weight gain means you are not as valuable a person, we need to lose weight in any way possible. And because we have always been taught, all of us have been taught, taking less than you burn, taking less than you burn, taking less than you burn. There's no social media telling us otherwise. Our doctors are even telling us that. So when that is the communication that you're hearing, and you're not hearing a dissenting voice, that becomes part of your identity. I know I have to just eat less, move more. I don't want to. Why don't you want to? Because it's miserable. It's miserable to feel like you're deprived all the time. And when you have cravings because of that, of course you're going to feel like it's impossible. But what you don't realize is that the cravings are because you're depriving yourself. Okay? So we keep going on this weight loss journey thinking, I need to deprive myself. So you think you have tried everything. You think I have tried diet after diet after diet after diet, but you have tried the same thing over and over again, whether it's not having carbs, not having fat, not eating enough calories, doing keto, doing Weight Watchers, calorie restriction, MyFitnessPal, counting my macros, just intermittent fasting, you name it, it's all deprivation. It's all restriction. Emotionally, we don't want to restrict. And let's be honest, you can't go on vacation. You can't do any of those other things. It's hard. So if you have been trained your whole life, and your doctors have been trained that the only way to lose weight is to not eat, but we know how miserable not eating is, and eventually we start eating again, and then we feel like we were a failure, that we didn't know what we were doing, or that we didn't have enough willpower, instead of the fact that physiologically your body just can't handle that. We are actually we are undernourished and we are malnourished in this country. Full stop. So a healthy body will not release weight. A healthy body will not release weight. And if you are gaining weight, then that is a sign that you are not in the optimal health range. So when we realized that this weight loss drug could help diabetics lose weight, we kept thinking losing weight is the thing. That's what makes us healthy. It's not. Losing weight is a byproduct of being healthy. It can't be the thing we're going after. It's got to be health. Because otherwise, it's literally like the Wizard of Oz, the guy behind the curtain. It's like, it's not real. It's not real. So we have a weight loss drug now that when you take, it makes you not hungry. There was a Today Show segment about weight loss drugs and girls. Don't get me started about it. It really gets me all into a whole thing. We'll have to do a whole podcast on that. Weight loss drugs and girls. And so basically the mom of this girl had tried all the things. She went and did gastric bypass. Gastric bypass does not make you healthy. The majority of people that go through gastric bypass has multiple medical issues and they gain the weight back. Why? Because you can have a smaller stomach, and also our stomach is a muscle, so it will continue to don't even get me started. But you can spike your blood sugar on a smaller stomach. It doesn't matter. It's just restriction, more restriction. But it's like lose weight at any means possible, because if I lose weight, I'll be healthier. And I hear all the time, well, if I wasn't so heavy, my bone and joints won't hurt as much. Yeah, true. But if you lose weight in a way that is completely unhealthy, you are actually reducing impacting your bone density, your muscle mass. That's not going to help your bone and joints. There'll be less weight on it, but you're more fragile. You're less healthy. You're not thriving. That is not going to help your thing. But we never learned that. We just kept saying restriction, restriction. So we have a weight loss drug that when you take, it makes you not hungry. So we think I'm not supposed to eat. I'm supposed to eat as little as possible. And this girl on Today's Show, her mother went through gastric bypass. When she went through puberty, she gained 20 pounds. Well, no wonder her mother gained all the weight back. because she didn't know how to eat. So how could she teach her daughter how to eat? So if her daughter gained 20 pounds at puberty, of course, because we don't know how to balance our blood sugar, nobody knows how to actually eat in a way that's simple and satisfying and sustainable. It's something we can do forever. So she gained 20 pounds. We get that. So instead of like, all we know is to just eat less. And all she kept saying is like, my value is in the number 20 pounds, 20 pounds. I gained 20 pounds. I am no good. I have no confidence. I'm not allowed to be confident if I gained 20 pounds. So that's the message she was hearing. And so what does the mom do? Puts her on a weight loss drug. Now, mind you, because she went on a weight loss drug. So now mother and daughter are shooting themselves in the stomach. Mind you, this isn't about health. Because the side effects are so insane, and you have to do it for the rest of your life. And we have zero studies, zero, about the impact of this long term. But we do know that stomach paralysis is a side effect. Nausea is a side effect. But even forget the side effects, it makes you not hungry. So this mom on Today's Show says, oh my gosh, everything was up here. Food for me was up here. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. That's why we actually have to deal with the root cause. And she's like, now I don't think about food anymore. So it's no longer here. No, it's still here. Your body's just literally suppressed. It's an appetite suppressant. And because it's made for diabetics, it's actually causing many people to have their blood sugar go dangerously low, and they can't eat because they're so nauseous, and you're not eating. But now, because we're not starving and miserable, right? We think it's working. So this girl, she lost the 20 pounds. Before she went on it, she was eating 4 chicken nuggets a day. And her mother was like, yeah, that's kind of what you got to do. And now she's eating 4 chicken nuggets a day because she's not hungry. And she's, quote unquote, losing weight. And she's going to have to be on it for the rest of her life. What are we doing? Do you want to lose weight or do you want to get healthy? Do you want to live or do you want to... honestly, we have to recognize who's funding this, why this is like $1,000 a month. And now there's generics out there. And then there's black market out there that women are doing and taking a black market needle in your body. The big piece is why. What do we want and why? It has to be bigger than the number on the scale. For every single reason, we are each put on this earth for a purpose. And it is not possible to reach your purpose if you are not healthy. And I know that up until now, you have I've tried everything. I promise you, you haven't. Because not only do you need to know how to balance your blood sugar, but you also need to understand how your thoughts and your beliefs dictate your actions. You have to understand how to control time instead of time controlling you. In short, I say this all the time. Think about when you got on an airplane. The last time, if you ever got on an airplane and you walk in and you see the pilot on one side in the cockpit with all these crazy buttons and all of that, and then you turn and you see the passengers and you're like, okay, I'm going to go there. Boom. I'm going to go sit down here. And then you sit and maybe you order a cocktail and you're like, okay. I want you to think about your body as that plane. You have just been sitting on as the passenger for so long. And now we have a weight loss drug that comes around that says, oh, I can totally get you to your destination because you think your destination is just having a skinny body. If I'm skinny, if I lose weight, then I'll be happy. It's not true. Happiness does not come from what you look like on the outside. It doesn't. Because I know that, let's take an example, Christy Brinkley. She just took a selfie, a picture of her in the closet at 70 years old. And she said, I'm finally happy with what I see. Christy Brinkley, the woman we all wanted to be like, was never happy with her body because we have, especially with women, it's never enough. And our value is so much in what we look like, as opposed to just being so unbelievably in awe at this incredible body that we have and what it does and how it tries to protect us. I want you to be the healthiest version of yourself so you can go do the things. You want to lose weight, so what? Other people can see you on Instagram so that you can feel confident. I know plenty of overweight, of larger women that, see, it's like we're all programmed. Overweight, underweight, all of it is programmed. I know plenty of larger women who are confident and plenty of skinny women who have no confidence at all. It has nothing to do with that. It's everything to do with the inside. but I want to be the healthiest version of myself because I know that I have value and I have something to give. If you are so focused on that number on the scale and you will do anything like literally poison your body to be able to get there, put your health at risk to be able to take a picture and have everybody say, oh, you lost weight, you look great. That's not the point. And if we are in this medicine 2.0, recognize that the epidemic of obesity does not, which is a lifestyle root cause, does not get fixed with a short-term drug that is meant to keep us alive, not thrive. It does not, when we have every single thing we put in our body, every medicine will have a side effect. And you have to really determine, is what I want, smaller body, really worth years off my life? I know somebody once that said, I would have taken off 10 years of my life to have been skinny. And when we finally started working with him and he lost over 100 pounds by fueling his body and eating, having more energy than he ever had before, and now he's actually supporting other people to live with that same food freedom. Thank God he didn't do that anymore, because the world would have missed out on who that person was supposed to be. And he just wanted to be skinny. If you are on a weight loss drug and you are diabetic and you're like, oh, like, it's saving my life, I get it. And if you aren't actually thinking about and doing something about changing your lifestyle, learning, getting an education where you become your own nutrition coach, essentially, then you have to keep taking more and more and more, and the disease will catch up with you. It will. But this is my point about cancer. If I had said there's a guaranteed way to not get cancer, we would all do it. If I'm saying to you, there's a guaranteed way, honestly, to not get diabetes. It's around the concept we teach, eating protein, fat, and carb every 3 hours, PFC every 3, as well as making sure that you have the strong mindsets to show up for yourself so that your 6 spinning plates are constantly spinning. Nutrition, exercise, hydration, sleep, managing your stress, and supplementation. It's all of those pieces of the puzzle. If I could show you that and you did it, you could not get diabetes, but we are so literally ingrained, and you can manage your weight, and you can manage your life, and you can be at your optimal health. But we are so ingrained in, honestly, 2.0 that we just sort of believe, well, it's fine. If my doctor gave it to me, it should be fine. We need to take a really big step back and recognize giving this to our kids instead of actually putting in the funding to make sure that our kids are educated, that our school lunches are not disgusting and completely unhealthy, that we are a society of high expectations for ourselves instead of Amazon Prime, where we expect a delivery to be in the same day. I am not against medication when we need it, but we do not need it as much as we need a complete lifestyle change. There's a reason why there are certain people that are in their 80s and 90s and they never have to go on medication. And then there are people that are in their 30s and 40s that are already on high blood pressure medication, already on have high cholesterol, already are pre-diabetic or insulin resistant. And by the time they're 50 and 60, you guys, it's a math equation, 2 + 2 = 4. And a weight loss drug is not going to save your life. It will keep you alive, maybe, but it's not going to save your life. And when it comes to weight loss, maybe you'll lose weight, but your body does not want to release weight if it's not healthy. So you're fighting this battle that's expensive and that's scary. Why not at least first get yourself educated so that you can then know that you have a foundation? And if you still need that medication, if you still need to take additional steps, you at least know right here that I've done what I needed to do. And I continue to show up for myself because I know I'm here for a purpose and I know I'm here to thrive, not just survive. So that's sort of the piece that I'm like, we've got to be smarter about this, you guys. Stop thinking that there is just this quick thing that you're going to be able to do and it's going to cause happiness. There's nothing more empowering than saying, I'm showing up for myself and then actually showing up for yourself. Okay, maybe it's controversial. Maybe you're like, oh, Carrie, you can't say those things. And you can see why, like, I don't have this much time on my TV show. So I got to say it where I can. Let me know your thoughts. And how do we work with you to be able to do that? Well, for once, get yourself on a call. I mean, right now it is really hard to get on a call with us. Like, we are booking out weeks and weeks. So if you get an appointment sooner than that, then that's great. But we have a complimentary call with one of our coaches. Like, let's talk through your situation. We're not a one size fits all kind of approach. People always ask what's the investment if we're working with you. It's we got to look at, see, is our approach, are you ready for this? Is this really what you need? And then we'll talk about your budget and we'll figure out how we can make things work for you. So book a call with us. Before you can book a call, though, you do have to like do this little training that I do. It's like 20-minute training. So do that. disruptivenutrition.com/training. Then get yourself on the calendar. Do not blow it off. Get on the calendar, show up for it, and at least get yourself educated and figure out what your next steps are going to be. You will have tons of clarity by the time you finish a call. So at least you can figure out what is the next thing I have to do, because it can't be nothing. It just can't be nothing because you have too much to give. And my goodness, if you're thinking of going on a weight loss drug, just promise me you'll talk to us before you do. That's all I ask. I love you guys too much for you not to be successful. All right. Let me know what you thought. You can go and review Diet Disruptor Squad, our podcast. And until next week, remember, wherever you are in your journey, there's a place for you here at Disruptive Nutrition. Connect with us and let's figure out where that is.